911, what's your emergency? I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
On a weeknight in suburban San Diego, circa the mid-'80s, operators and police dispatch weren't usually slammed with calls. But one operator had a night that's far from quiet. In fact, the contents of this call would be detailed and debated for decades to come. Today on Ghost Town, the case of Ruth Price, the Internet's most infamous 911 call. As a note, the contents of this call might be disturbing for some, and we're about to play it now, so please listen with care. It's approximately 1 minute, so if you'd like to fast forward, please do so now.
This is Ruth Price of 3877.
What's the problem, ma'am?
Oh, well, there's some guy been checking the place out.
How?
Well, he went in the back. I have an apartment in the back, and he said he was looking for a guy. And he comes to my door, and
Yes?
and said he's looking for an apartment. So I live alone, and I'm an old lady. And I'm kind of
Where is he now, ma'am?
I don't have no idea.
As you just heard, on the evening of November 3rd, a call comes into San Diego Dispatch. The caller says, "My name is Ruth Price, and I live at 3877, and then the operator interjects, "What's the problem, ma'am?" Calmly but hesitantly, Price tells the operator that a man is prowling outside her home. He's out in the back looking around, but then he comes to my door, says he's looking for an apartment, Price says, her voice quiet with fear. "I live alone. I'm an old lady," she whispers. "Where is he now, ma'am?" the operator asks. "I have no idea," Price replies. After a couple seconds, the call goes quiet. Then you hear a blood-curdling scream. After that, short, panting screams of "Help me, God," and "Somebody help me breathe," gagging and scuffling. To the terrified operator listening in on the call, they are the sounds, seemingly, of a woman fighting for her life. Moments later, the line goes dead. Because the operator cuts Ruth Price off when she was saying her address, help is unable to arrive, and the case eventually, and heartbreakingly, goes cold. Still, Ruth Price's 911 call makes the rounds within local police departments. But people have later called out the call as being fake, but not until it is widely released to the public, likely in the early to mid-1990s. But before then, again, it is used for training. After the internet gets a hold of the call is when the public really begins their own line of inquiry and investigation into this terrifying moment in history. People wonder what happened to Ruth Price, who attacked her, and why. For decades, the mystery of Ruth Price's 911 call circulates the internet, with online sleuths trying to find a record of the incident, or really any information as to what happened that night. A 2019 Medium post from Catacombs of Crime detailing the circumstances around the call says that Ruth Price died, though there wasn't proof that this was the case at the time. We'll get to that a little bit later. Some Reddit sleuths also thought the call was a hoax, created purely for 911 training purposes, or even entertainment. Catacombs of Crime again explores this theory in their 2019 Medium post, saying, quote, "Considering the disturbing and tragic nature of the recording, there is very little information available on the internet regarding the case. This seems unusual given its infamous status and the fact that someone was reportedly killed. Surely this would generate media attention and we would have more information regarding who the woman was, what actually happened, and whether the perpetrator was apprehended." The lack of any official reports online about this case is the strongest argument that it is fake. However, it is possible that this incident occurred prior to the advent of the internet, and the newspaper reports are held on a microfiche somewhere. What also contributes to the hoax is, disappointingly, the operator. The woman interrupts the caller when she was trying to communicate, failing to ask follow-up questions or helping the caller, at all. Does her incompetence mean the call is fake? Redditors wondered. One other objection to the call's authenticity is that it is, according to Catacombs of Crime, apparently illegal to release a 911 call which records someone's death, so the call wouldn't have been released at all. Now, again, I worked in true crime media for a long time. I did not know this. I did not verify the truth in this. That being said, if it is true, if that fact is true about 911 calls, it could have been secretly recorded and released if it was being used frequently and widely for training purposes. But the call was not a fake, at least according to an officer on officer.com, a place where police departments can post about their experiences. A Florida safety officer said that the call was used for training purposes to reinforce the importance for dispatchers to begin every call with, quote, 911, what's your location? For years, it is used to train dispatch trainees in the importance of getting a caller's address up front so they can send help immediately. Quote, despite the fact that the calls can be traced, opening with your location can potentially help to speed up the process. But given how quickly Ruth is attacked during the call, it's unlikely that this would have saved her. The officer then went on to claim that the call is, in their opinion, 100% real and not fake. Said another officer on officer.com, quote, I've heard this one before. This is the tape that has stuck with me these last few years. It has reminded me not to treat every call as, quote, routine. During my dispatcher class, our instructor pointed out how the dispatcher sounded disinterested in this lady's problem. Had she not cut her off from giving her address, the police may have been there sooner. I don't know if the agency had a ANI/ALI or E911 when this happened, but our instructor said that it took a while to find her. Obviously too late. The same officer later states that the prowler was never apprehended and, like the Catacombs of Crime Medium post, inferred that Ruth Price had, in fact, died. Fast forward to 2021, when Reddit detective and amateur genealogist far_valuable5819 does a deep dive of all deep dives. And she gets some real and big answers as to the call and the fate of Ruth Price. More after this break.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello. How's it going out there?
How's it hanging?
How's it hanging, Januaries?
Yeah.
Our little Januaries.
Yeah, our little tiny little Januaries.
Yeah, you're looking good, Januaries.
Yeah, looking good for January, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
You're a sight for these sore eyes.
Yeah.
Januaries.
We want to say hello to anyone who's listening, supporting us, spreading the good word of Ghost Town. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
And, you know what? I'm going to get on my hands and knees and just start thanking that government. Seems
good.
Seems apropos.
Yep.
Those mayors. Ooh, baby. There's a little numerology assigned to these mayors, too. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, you're about
numerology.
We're all about to find out right now what that is.
I can't wait. I don't know what's in store.
I call this mayor a little 311. Little 311. Just good times, hanging, some 90s style.
Amber's the color of this mayor's energy.
It's Kelly Meehan.
Hello.
This mayor, the number assigned to them, a little 411. What's going on? Give me some information.
Very good.
It's Kat Chazelle.
Hello.
This mayor loves to count it down 3, 2, 1.
Contact? Or no?
Yeah.
I'll let the mayor decide.
Yeah. It's Ashley Matson.
Hello.
This mayor likes the dark side. A little 666. But if they're not, but in the coolest, nicest, most kind of like nature, you know what I mean? Like
like earth and
fire
pentacles.
and water. Yeah, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be
so hard. Doesn't have to be so black. It has to be colorful.
Yeah,
natural.
But autumn. Like, we're not talking about summer here.
No, we're not talking neons. Are you kidding me? We're not talking brat summer here.
That's Casey Weber.
Hello.
This mayor, yeah, they love to chill, dude. They're a little 420.
Oh, Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, man. It's like, whatever, dude. I've got the munchies, dude.
Oh, shit.
I personally am a narc. But this person is Matthew Clemens Thuray.
Hello.
This mayor has a license to kill, but never uses it. They have the license, a little 007.
I was just going to suggest 007. But you beat me to the punch like a real spy.
It's Marissa Rothermel.
Hello.
This mayor? Uh-oh, you knew this one was coming. I can't resist. A little 6'9".
Oh, no.
690.
Oh, 690. Okay, 690, yeah.
690. A decent credit score. A decent
Great.
credit score.
Yeah, that's
a
pretty
decent
good. That's
credit
pretty
score.
good. Yeah,
it's not
that's
great. It's on the way up. It's a decent
is
credit
that
score.
Detroit area code maybe as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Don't look too deep into it. It's Chris Hernandez.
Hello.
And then our governor, whose number begins and ends with 000. The beginning and the end. The alpha and the omega. And let me tell you something. You can put a bunch of zeros at the end of any number. And our mayor's like, I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's an amount.
It only appreciates my own power. Whatever numbers you put at the end of the numbers that I have, I am infinity. I am infinite.
Was that? I'm death destroying worlds. Oppenheimer. We're really getting pretty cataclysmic here with this.
Yeah, we really are. We're in a good headspace. It's all right.
Good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Well, that would be our governor, Avian Noble. If you want no ads, no chit chat, bonus episodes, just the good stuff. 7 days free. We should have another bonus episode up soon. Head on over to patreon.com/ghosttownpod. You want to get back into it?
Let's get back to this call. In 2021, a user named FarValuable5819 posted in the Unsolved Mysteries subreddit, sharing a long post titled Ruth Price 911 Call Mystery Solved. The post says, quote, I'm doing genealogy as a hobby and love to dig and do research. To avoid taking down my Christmas tree, I started an ancestry tree on Ruth Mildred Starr Price. And then she goes into what she finds on Price. Quote, Ruth Mildred Starr was born in Pueblo, Colorado on December 7, 1913, to Thomas O. Starr and Joanna Egler. Ruth went to Central High School in Pueblo, Colorado, and then she shares a yearbook photo. Ruth Starr married William Walter Price, and both were still listed as living in Pueblo, Colorado in 1935, but then can be found in a 1940 census living in San Diego, California. I also found this Ruth in a 1973, 1975, 1976, 1978, and 1979 San Diego City Directory living at 3877 North 35th Street in San Diego. Remember that Ruth in that 911 call said she had lived at 3877 before the operator cut her off. It appears that Ruth and William had 2 daughters, and William passed away in 1972. And then FarValuable5819 shares that she found an obituary for Ruth Price in the San Diego Union Tribune. The obit is dated May of 1994. Says the Redditor, quote, the entire obituary wasn't being shown, so I went looking for it. Instead, I found a Ruth M. Price listed in a newspaper section called Assaults on November 3rd, 1980 in the San Diego Evening Tribune. In this newspaper clipping, it says Ruth M. Price was assaulted on the 3800 block of 35th Street. This newspaper clipping fits the Ruth Price 911 call perfectly. I truly believe that this is the missing piece that identifies the Ruth Price of that unknown 911 call. It wasn't a hoax or a 911 training call. That blood-curdling scream wasn't a hoax or purely a training call. That blood-curdling scream was unfortunately very real. The good news is Ruth, even being older in age, fought off her attacker and lived for another 14 years. Not only was Ruth Price not attacked, the call was, according to the Reddit post, not even a 911 call to begin with. Quote, Apparently, there was no 911 in San Diego in 1980, so most likely Ruth Price was talking to an operator of some kind. Maybe she dialed 0 or had reached the police station. Far Valuable 5819 concludes the piece by asking, "Thoughts? Did I find the missing link to bring an end to this unresolved mystery?" Most people said yes, and congratulated Far Valuable 5819 on their great investigative work, noting that everyone believed she had died because of that blood-curdling scream. Says Dark Matter's confusing. "I wish it wasn't real, but since I always thought it was, I'm incredibly relieved to know that Ruth wasn't murdered or sexually assaulted or badly beaten. To know that she was just, not minimizing her terror or trauma, snuck up on from behind and briefly choked and was able to shake off the home invader, who then just fled and she went on to live another 14 years, it's honestly a relief and happy news, because what I imagined transpiring and her overall fate was far, far bleaker." Says Geekerman. "This was always one of those classic internet mysteries that have endured for several years, gained plenty of traction yet remained shrouded in obscurity, with people never really caring for its origin and simply accepting it for what it was. But you finally cracked it all these years later. This is amazing." And yet, even though there was some evidential closure on the Ruth Price case, it inspired a new theory, that the call itself wasn't real, the one used for training purposes, but based on a real script and reenacted for the purposes of training 911 dispatchers. Says user Paroles, "There's still one question about whether the call is real, though. This comment says that some people from 4chan tried to track down the origin of the call or get in touch with people who ran 911 training courses in the area and learned that it was a reenactment based on the exact transcript of Ruth's real call. So we still don't know for sure whether this was a real call or a recreation. I tend to believe the reenactment idea because it's a, quote, clean recording. You just hear the screams, and there are a couple of bumps but not much noise suggesting a struggle is going on. The scream stays at a consistent volume, like someone recording it in a studio. It doesn't get quieter as if the phone is dropped or grabbed or she attempts to run away." And just like that, the enduring 911 call that was seemingly solved bore yet another mystery. Will this one be solved? Only time and the internet will tell.